This project is way more special than the others as it involves almost everything from design, aesthetics, proportion, utility, right up to execution. So let's jump right in. First step this time, getting inspired by a clean workshop. Just using some wax on the track saw for smoother movement of the machine. Actually, this piece is special in many ways, other than those I just mentioned. I stock used plywood, which I get as waste from interior sites of my friends and colleagues, so I can use that for something more worthy. Each surface in this piece of furniture is made from that wood. Yes, it is not extremely beautiful and a little scarred, but that's just perfect because scars bring out the beauty, don't they? And not only in plywood. Hence, to get all those in the right dimension from their respective shapes that they were in and getting them square edged and along the correct grain, that was a bit of the task in the beginning. Measuring and marking, both these actions play such major roles while we are building anything, whether it is architecture, furniture, clothes. The design and strategy need to be extremely clear in the mind of the maker. And that can happen by making a simple, clean drawing and making crisp notes of the procedure. And if that is done, the rest follows pretty smooth. Another speciality for this piece for me is that there's only one joint which I have used here, which is the famous and my favorite dovetail joint. Now, if you remember the elevation, one of the lower surfaces is at an incline. Hence, the bigger challenge here was to make the angled dovetails. Now that's a simple dovetail, where the colored surfaces are at right angles and the chisel is held at 90 degrees to make the cut. Now what happens in an angle cut is that these colored spots need to be cut at an angle which is pre-decided while creating the true front elevation of the product. Only when these angles are good can the two planks be fit in the required angle. And finally, it's time for the first glue up. The glue up was kind of in 3 steps, where I put together 1, 2 and 3, then 4, 5 and 6, and then finally 7, 8 and 9. So I could glue and drill these dowels first from both these directions. So as this node needed to be much more stronger, and then I fixed up all of them. Marking the centers and drilling twice. First the pilot with the smaller diameters, and then the final with the diameter of the bolts which were going to go in that spot. Grinding and leveling the bolts, first with a grinding machine and then with a file. As this wood was dented and scraped in many places, this called for multiple rounds of gap filling sessions, and man, the sanding that came along with it. I think all woodworkers can write a song about sanding. It would surely be beautiful to leave the plywood edges as is. That's only if the edge profiles were even and neat, but that wasn't the case here. Hence, I had to use edge banding to clean the front edges, and it also serves as a membrane for protection of the plywood from any sort of fungal or other breaches. I believe if I had better craftsmanship in this case, so many rounds and so much of sanding would not be called for. But, well. Finally, it began to look like something is coming together. But not just yet. The staining and finishing process, it did take a while. It's always as we come towards completion of any job, we tend to become more and more impatient, which is the real pitfall actually. Even if it takes a day more, an hour more, or a month more, one must be patient with the finishing process as it eventually defines the work. It's a lot also about a mental preparation and mental state of mind in which a person is working. Cleaning the edges. That's the last oil coat, where it was almost final, evenly applying the oil and sanding it with 400 paper and wiping away the excess for one last time before applying the final finish of water-based PU. cleaning the edges again for like the 57th time. The final finish was of water-based polyurethane. I got inspired from the person who finished the twin tables. The process of application seemed simple, and it was too. First, brush application on the surface. Also, apply a wash over the roller and then gently roll over evenly on the surface which has already been brushed. And the result was not too shabby for a rookie.